Hello fellow anime geeks and welcome to another impression video, this time a bit different than my seasonal format. As I was writing my 2020 spring rankings, I found out that Fugokeji is being moved to the summer and it is displacing Yakusoku no Neverland Season 2 until 2021. There's a few other anime that have already announced delays past episode 3 and 4, linked to a good Crunchyroll article in the description. I'm happy to hear that Japan is protecting its most valuable asset. It's people. So I'm starting this series a bit earlier than I had planned, but eager to dive into the expansive repo of awesome anime we already have. I'm going down the Mal rankings, exposing my shame by admitting to you what I've still yet to watch, and finally checking out what all the hype is about. I'll be organizing my thoughts by answering these 3 questions, so let's hop to it. First up is Ping Pong the animation. Starting from the top of the Mal rankings, this was the first one that I hadn't seen that I could find online, and it's just 1 season in length. It's 11 episodes, so I just binged it. Okay, I couldn't stop myself from binging it. Its Mal tags were drama, psychological, seinen, and sports, and I would say this is most definitely a sports drama, but a sports drama unlike any I've seen before. Sure, it follows the same old character backstory, improvement, tournament, worthy adversary type tropes of any sports anime out there, but the beautifully grotesque art, the expert use of sound, and the perfectly timed revelations of narrative significance make this anime completely other. First of all, for the first couple of episodes, I had no idea who the protagonist even was, but little by little, match by match, all of these small character mannerisms, changes of focus, and backstory inserts revealed the significance of the storyline for our protagonist. And I think this was only possible because Matsumoto-sensei clearly had all of these characters well defined before he started writing any of their interactions. Now, I haven't read the manga, but I can tell from the anime adaptation's expert use of certain techniques that it added to the narrative. I was particularly taken aback by the use of sound. And I don't just mean music, although the intro was pretty great. There are 2 specific sequences that just blew me away, and I'll just try my best not to spoil their significance. In this sequence, we start with silence. The opponents face off. We get an electronic backing to hear the specs on a pen. Then silence. The sound of a bird to introduce the landscape representation of this match. Silence. The match begins, a creepy sci-fi ambient sound matching the post-apocalyptic robot landscape of the protagonist's backstory. We switch BGMs between opponents, and finally, the scene culminates in a theme alluded to many times but only ever played once in this whole show. And I'm not going to spoil it here. The other sequence has equally genius progression spanning multiple contenders and artistic representations, but my favorite segment is a match completely backed by our protagonist's unnerving humming. The only other anime that I can think of that has led me through such artistic narrative battles is Sangatsu no Lion. Released 2 years after Ping Pong, it also uses sound and artistic landscapes to blend significance and reality. At one point, stopping all character voices to dramatize a match by using only the sounds of the shogi pieces hitting the board and a simple melody that mirrored the progression of the match. And of course, I have to mention the art in Ping Pong. The aesthetic seems to follow Matsumoto-sensei's grotesque art style, and there doesn't seem to be one straight line in sight, but this anime also seems to evoke the feelings of reading a manga, many times splitting the screen into multiple action panels or seemingly pencil sketching a large part of the intro. The pacing is fast and action-oriented. We cover a year in 11 episodes, and each one of those episodes has at least one match, which leads me to my only downside. I loved getting a meaningful view into the world of ping pong. I loved all of the battles. I loved getting sucked into each of the contenders' backstories. But I would have loved to have gotten a little bit more time in our protagonist's headspace. He undergoes a fundamental shift in beliefs in the first 4 episodes, and while I can sort of guess at his motivations, I still don't fully understand the change. Every single action in this anime culminates in a final match that ties absolutely everything together, but we don't really get to follow one character's journey very much. The final revelation was extremely touching, and don't get me wrong, I was cutting onions with the best of them, but I didn't feel the fear, the anxiety, and the weight that I felt when I was watching Sangatsu no Lion, which might be by design. Maybe this anime just wanted to provide a fun, fast action storyline, but I personally would have preferred focusing in on just one narrative. So, does it live up to its MAL ranking? Well, last I checked, Ping Pong the Animation had a score of 8.63 with a pretty decent following of over 200,000 members. To put things in perspective, Shingeki no Kyojin Season 3 has a score of 9.08 on MAL. The first season in the series has a fantastic following of close to 2 million members. But let's compare Ping Pong to Sangatsu no Lion, because that's what we've been doing all along. Sangatsu no Lion, in my opinion, is a near-perfect series, and it weighs in at 9.03 for its score, and close to 200,000 members. This is for Season 2, and for Season 1, over 300,000 members. So, in short, do I think Ping Pong is worthy of its MAL score? Yes. In fact, I think it could stand to be a little bit higher in the rankings. It's in good company right next to Violet Evergarden, but I couldn't help but notice that there were a few seasons of Natsume Yujin show above it, and for some reason that didn't sit quite right. I know that it holds a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people, but I don't know if I would say that it has the originality that Ping Pong the Animation does. So if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it if you like sports dramas, crazy art, and Pulp Fiction-esque storylines where everything is resolved at the end. And on that note, I'll catch you in the next video. Why does he let him win? He's in full robot mode. He don't care. What? He started feeling bad.